My family always told me the mountains were peaceful in winter, a quiet, snowy escape. They didn't know what lived there. We took a short vacation to a remote cabin high above the valley. It was beautiful, but the locals gave us a strange warning. They said to stay inside during a whiteout, a snowstorm so dense the world turns completely blank, like a fresh page waiting for something terrible to be drawn on it. The first night was perfect. We had a crackling fire, hot soup, and the soft hiss of snowfall outside. But around 2 in the morning, I heard it. A soft whistling noise. It wasn't the wind, and it definitely wasn't human. It was a slow, unnerving tune, almost like someone was calling out, checking to see if I was awake. The next morning, I found strange tracks circling the cabin. They weren't footprints. They were long drag marks, as if something heavy was pulled across the snow, or something boneless had slithered around our cabin for hours. My mother dismissed it as wind patterns. My father said it was just an animal, but I knew, deep down, that something had been watching us. The second night, the whistling returned. This time, it was closer. I wiped the frost from the window and saw a shape standing out in the snow. It was tall and thin, swaying gently like a broken tree in the breeze. For a split second, lightning flashed behind the clouds, and I saw it clearly. The creature had a long, unnaturally stretched neck, bent at a weird angle like a drinking straw. Its face was pale, almost translucent, like snow pressed into the shape of a human skull, and its mouth. It stretched sideways from one cheek to the other, whistling through a thin slit that shouldn't exist. My breath clouded the glass, and a moment later, the creatures did too. It was right there. Then came the third night, and with it, the whiteout. The blizzard hit without any warning. The wind howled like thousands of voices screaming at once. And buried deep within that roar was the whistle. Inside the cabin, the temperature plummeted. Frost began crawling across the walls in pulsing spiral patterns, as if it were alive. My father, trying to be brave, opened the window just a crack to look outside. His face went completely blank. "Why, are there faces in the snow?" he whispered. I rushed over to look. The drifting snowflakes were swirling into shapes distorted human faces, their eyes wide with frozen terror, whispering silently as they flew past. Their mouths opened and closed as if trying to speak, but they melted before any words could form. And then the thin creature appeared again, stepping effortlessly through the storm. Its long neck twisted until its head was completely upside down, staring straight into our window. It let out a whistle so sharp and high-pitched that the glass cracked. On what we thought was our final night, we tried to leave. But the road was gone, completely swallowed by the storm. The snow was piled higher than our car. We were trapped. The cabin groaned as something vast moved outside, brushing against the walls. And then we heard it. Knock, knock, knock. 3 gentle taps on the door. My mother screamed. For some reason I can't explain, I stepped closer. The door handle began to turn, slowly, all by itself. Snow blew in as it opened a few inches. But it wasn't normal snow. It was a solid white sheet of frost, and you could see dozens of faint handprints pressing out from inside it. A voice whispered through the whistling wind, "Join us." It's warm beneath the snow. The door slammed shut again. To this day, we don't know what kept it from opening all the way. When rescuers finally arrived 2 days later, they found us half frozen but alive. They told us there were no tracks outside the cabin except for ours. But as they were helping us out, one of the rescuers gasped, under a fresh layer of snow behind the cabin. A long, winding trail was pressed deep into the ground, not footprints. A drag mark, leading back up into the mountains as if something tall and boneless had finally crawled away once the storm lifted. Even now, whenever winter comes, I still hear it at night. That slow, patient whistle, waiting for me to answer.